YouTube and welcome to another GV anime review, where today I am again trying to review Kaze Tsuyoku Fuiteiru, or Run with the Wind. Now if you ask yourself why I say again, that is because I already recorded this review back on Sunday, but my entire recording was bad and I couldn't use it. So again I am trying to record this review. So, Run with the Wind was a sports anime made by Production IG in fall 2018. And Production IG made some pretty good sports animes and general animes in the past before, so I did have some expectations for Run with the Wind. So let's see if it actually met them. The story of Run with the Wind focuses on Kakeru Kurahara, who used to be a very good long-distance runner, but since a major conflict with his coach due to building pressure, Kakeru has quit running altogether. That is until one day he meets Haiji Kiyose, who also used to be a runner, but because of a knee injury he had to take a step back. Haiji convinces Kakeru to come live with him in his dorm apartment complex, how you want to call it, called Chikuseiso, where already 8 other people live. And there Haiji informs Kakeru of his big plan, and that is that with the 10 people in the dorm, he wants to run in the Hakone Eikiden Marathon, which is a prestigious 200-kilometer relay long distance race. And Haiji now finally has the 10 members to do it. But Kakeru is of course very reluctant to join him in this quest, and the 8 other members of Chikuseiso have never ran before, so it is still a big question if Haiji can make his dream come true. The first thing that I liked in Run with the Wind is that each of our 10 characters gets his time to shine. And some characters get a little bit more attention than others, of course, but every character gets a little segment of the anime that is dedicated to him. And that reminded me a lot of one of my all-time favorite sports animes, Yowamushi Battle. In Yowamushi Battle we got backstory for each and every character that we met, and it was pretty extensive. Now Run with the Wind didn't go that far, but still pushing backstories for 10 different characters in a 23 episode anime is not easy, but Run with the Wind managed to pull it off. And related to my previous point is that each of the characters, once Haiji eventually convinces them all to run, of course, each of the characters has his own reason why he wants to run in the Eikiden. Some of them just want to do it for the fame and the girls, while others really want to use this opportunity to turn their lives around in a positive sense. And this is something that Run with the Wind beautifully showed, in my opinion. That is that having a goal in your life, something that you can work towards, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something athletic, it can be anything. If it is a goal that you work towards, that has a very positive effect on your life. And to me, the best example of this in the anime was Akihito, who actually quitted smoking during the anime in order to be able to run in the Eikiden. And my final positive point comes all the way at the end of the anime, where we get some sort of a little epilogue which takes place 4 years after the end of the actual story. And this is something that I really appreciated. There are so many animes out there that just quit at a certain point and we never get to know what became of the characters in the future. And that is something that quite frustrates me. There are a few animes out there that do this. I remember that Sukiyaki Rei also did that. But every anime that does this, I really appreciate it. And Run with the Wind, in this epilogue taking place 4 years later, really showed us what became of all our characters, what became of the team. And that, to me, gave me a much more fulfilling ending to the anime. My first negative point is also related to the epilogue at the end of the anime, and that is that we never get any resolution on Hanako. We know that Hanako is in love with either Joji or Jota, but we never get to find out which of the two it is. At the end of the anime, there is only one other character that actually knows the truth, and that is Musa. But we as the viewers never get to know who it is that Hanako is in love with. And I actually realized that I'm also quite flabbergasted that neither Joji nor Jota has had the balls to confess in the 4 years between the end of the story and the epilogue. I mean, how dense can these guys be? My next negative point is about the actual ending of the story of the anime. And that is that the ending of the story was a little bit cheesy. It was kind of predictable what was going to happen. And this is something not only Run with the Wind does, but like 90% of all the sports animes out there usually go for a little bit of a cheesy ending like this one. So that was a little bit of a shame. But on the other side, I'm already happy that Kansei University didn't just win the Aikiden. I mean, that would have been the ultra stereotypical thing to do. So I'm happy that they didn't push it that far. My next negative point, you might think that it is nitpicking, but please just hear me out. All the way at the beginning of the anime, when the characters are just starting to run, they already have unbelievably fast times on the 5K. I mean, I am not a runner altogether. I occasionally run, but I am not a long distance runner. But I am a cyclist and a martial artist. I think I have a pretty good physique and a more than average good amount of stamina. But I cannot run 5K in 20 minutes. I mean, if you train for it, sure you can do it. And the characters, once they start training, sure they can do it in 20 minutes or even later in like less than 16 minutes. But all the way at the beginning of the anime, when they haven't had any kind of proper training, they already run 5K in like 20 or 21 minutes. And as I said, you can think that it's nitpicking, but it is something that bothered me. And my final negative point is a little bit more of a fundamental one, being that the anime could have done more with Haiji's background. Now, we get some background for Haiji, of course, about his knee injury and about the relationship with his father, but I have the feeling that they could have done more with it. They could have added a little bit more of a dramatic touch to the anime if they dived more into Haiji's background and into Haiji's past. But let's not forget that Run with the Wind did manage to cram 10 different backstories in a 23 episode anime, so there probably just wasn't any time to dive deeper into this. So as a conclusion, Run with the Wind was a more than decent sports anime. Production IG did a good job with Run with the Wind. I'm not gonna say that it was like the best sports anime that I have ever seen. That would probably be either Yowamushi Pedal or Ballroom Yokoso, which was also made by Production IG. But it was a solid sports anime with a solid story, and it was just overall an enjoyable anime to watch. So, because of all those reasons, I'm going to rate Run with the Wind at 4 out of 5 stars. If you're a fan of the sports genre like myself, then Run with the Wind is a solid recommendation to make. As for recommendations, as I said in numerous others of my reviews of sports animes, there is a sport anime for almost every sport that you can think of. So just type into Google anime plus the sport you want, and I am pretty sure that you will find an anime that is made about it. If you have a particular anime that you want me to review, or have a recommendation for an anime that I definitely should watch, then please put it down in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, visit me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to this channel for more reviews in the future. And I will say arigatou gozaimasu, and I will see you all in the next video.